Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. Well, friends, yet another career federal prosecutor of 24 years, a woman named Denise Chung, who was the chief of the criminal division at the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia, where I worked for decades. And yes, I worked with Denise and I know her well. Denise Chung was told by Donald Trump's acting U.S. attorney in D.C., Ed Stop the Steal Martin, to do something that was not supported by adequate evidence. Denise Chung, as I would fully expect her to do, said, no, I'm loyal to the rule of law. I'm loyal to the Constitution. She refused to do what Ed Martin directed her to do because it wasn't supported by the facts, by the evidence. So Ed Martin demanded her resignation. Friends, this is Donald Trump's lawless Department of Justice. Let's start with the new reporting. This from the Washington Post. Headline, high-ranking D.C. federal prosecutor resigns over order to freeze EPA funds. And that article begins, the head of the criminal division in the U.S. Attorney's Office in D.C. resigned Tuesday morning after declining to comply with an urgent Trump administration demand to freeze the assets of a multi-billion-dollar Biden administration environmental grant initiative, according to the official resignation letter and two people familiar with the matter. Veteran prosecutor Denise Chung's resignation came in response to a Justice Department effort to assist President Donald Trump's head of the Environmental Protection Agency, who said last week that he would try to rescind $20 billion in grants awarded by the Biden administration for climate and clean energy projects, according to the two people who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to discuss the matter publicly. Chung wrote in her resignation letter that while she and the FBI asked the bank handling the disbursements to freeze the assets immediately, she refused a last-minute order from interim U.S. Attorney Ed Martin to compel the bank, to require the bank to do so. This demand came after the office of Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove requested she open what she considered an unfounded criminal investigation into the matter, according to the resignation letter obtained by the Washington Post. This quote from the resignation letter of Denise Chung. Quote, when I explained that the quantum of evidence did not support that action, you, U.S. Attorney Martin, stated that you believed there was sufficient evidence. Chung wrote of a demand by Martin to write the bank a second letter ordering the funds frozen pursuant to a criminal investigation. She added, because I believed that I lacked the legal authority to issue such a letter, I told you that I would not do so. You then asked for my resignation. Chung's account of two top Trump political appointees directing a hurried effort to halt billions of dollars in environmental grants approved under the Biden administration marked a profound departure from Justice Department policy and norms. Prosecutors warned that such steps by the Trump administration without adequate evidence or legal basis were a misuse of the Justice Department's powers of criminal investigation, aiming them at political goals regardless of the law. Chung's departure as the top supervisor overseeing federal criminal cases for the U.S. Attorney's Office in the nation's capital marks the latest shakeup of key federal prosecutors' offices under the Trump administration. At least 7 senior U.S. public corruption prosecutors resigned last week, including the interim U.S. Attorney in Manhattan, Danielle Sassoon, and a top deputy after Bove ordered the dismissal of corruption charges against New York Mayor Eric Adams, citing alleged political malfeasance and the case's impact on Adams' ability to carry out the Trump administration's immigration enforcement policies. So, friends, Denise Chung, a 24-year federal prosecutor, told acting U.S. Attorney Ed Martin, who never prosecuted so much as a traffic ticket, "You don't have the evidence. You don't have probable cause. You can't seize property or money from banks or individuals without probable cause." And Ed Martin said, I think we have probable cause, and if you disagree with me, give me your resignation. Friends, this is no way to run a U.S. Attorney's Office, a Department of Justice, an executive branch, a federal government, or a democracy. It's clear that Trump's henchmen at the Department of Justice want to hollow out DOJ, want to drive out, want to demand the resignations of all of the good, honest, experienced, ethical, hardworking public servants. We can't let that happen. We need to support in every way the hundreds of thousands of good career public servants in the Department of Justice and elsewhere. Support them in every way we can. We need to support the Danielle Sassoons. She was the acting U.S. attorney put in place in the Manhattan Federal Prosecutor's Office, the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office. And when, Donald Trump's henchman, Emil Bove, ordered her to dismiss Eric Adams' case, she said, "No, it's corrupt. I'm not going to do it." And she resigned. And the lead prosecutor on the Eric Adams prosecution, a gentleman named Hagen Scotton, when he refused to be part of dismissing the Adams case, here's what he wrote in his resignation letter. "If no lawyer within earshot of the president is willing to give him the advice that a dismissal of the case is dead wrong, then I expect you will eventually find someone who is enough of a fool or enough of a coward to file your motion, but it was never going to be me." These are the people we need to support. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.